So here I am in the lobby of Bali International Hospital. Grand sounding name. Anyway, the reason I'm here is to remind you that infrastructure, an excellent infrastructure, is coming to not just Bali but Indonesia. Some of the best doctors in Asia are now practicing in Indonesia, and the reason I'm discussing that is today's video is going to be about retirement. In my last video, I discussed how prisons could help economically Indonesia and bringing foreign prisoners from outside, let's say the UK or Europe or even America, into a prison system here could help economically. But a much bigger target, and one that I believe could be spectacular for Indonesia's economy, are old-aged people. The UK alone has 300,000 people in care homes, and the cost is approximately 60 to 70 million rupiah per month to look after these old people. The majority of the people also are paid for by the state. They're not private. Of course, Indonesia has retirement visas, but that's for the private. And that's generally for people who are coming and not living in what we call a care home. I'm talking about let's build care homes. But the government must get involved. But first, why would countries choose Indonesia to send their older people? Well, it's pretty obvious. And the first most obvious is the weather. The fuel bill alone in Europe is huge during the winter, but more than the weather, and the weather is a huge reason because of course for old people it's nicer in a warmer environment, is the people themselves. Indonesia has numerous facilities and fantastic people who can work with the pensioners. It wouldn't be 1 in every 3 or 4. We could provide one-on-one service. Imagine having a one-on-one service. Wow, that would be fantastic for the old people. Having somebody to help them at 24 hours a day. Wow, fantastic. Even pensioners with dementia, it wouldn't matter. Also, of course, communication nowadays is so easy. The families could easily talk to their mothers and fathers all the time. And within the care home that you build, you'd have accommodation for when family comes out. So you'd make 10 or 15 rooms available. Obviously, they pay when they came out. Why does the government need to be involved? Well, that's the issue of visas and security. Indonesia would be putting its name out there. Look, at the moment, Indonesians go to Japan to look after the Japanese. Believe it or not, there's about 30 to 40% of the workforce in Japan are working in care homes. But why not bring the Japanese out here? Why not look after them here? Food bills would be cheaper, energy bills much cheaper, and the environment would be better. Care homes, I'm not sure about Japan, but in the UK, not so nice, especially in winter where they're bottled up 24 hours just looking at a television set. Can you imagine if you brought these people out to Indonesia? Wow, we could have swimming pools, exercise, walks, take them out once a week and look after them in that way. Their lives would be transformed. Remember, you're doing it for them and you're doing it for the economic reason of making Indonesia the place to go if you retire, not just privately. But again, the government must get involved. It must at least make sure that there's a special visa for these people who would be coming to live the rest of their lives. Obviously, you wouldn't take people who, let's say, have 3 or 6 months to live, but on the whole, you'd be bringing out people at 65, 70, and that would be it. Their family could come out once a year, you've got accommodation for them, and it would be just beautiful. you wouldn't charge too much less than what the UK is paying, but the service would be twice as good. The food would be twice as good. The love would be twice as good. You're selling a lifestyle, and Indonesia has the lifestyle. It doesn't have to be just here in Bali either. It can be in Java, Sulawesi, as long as, what I showed before, we have the medical personnel and a good hospital nearby. You can even move them. For example, if you were to put 2 care homes in Bali, you'd have one by the sea and one up in the mountains, and you can shift them so they can have a different venue, different areas to be. How nice, rather than just shut up in 4 walls. Come on, think about it. But the government must get involved, just like with the prisons. Indonesia must think out of the box. I promise you, within the next few years, some country's going to snag it and say, foreign prisoners, come here. Pensioners, old age people, come here. Now, why not Indonesia? Why not? Of course you're going to look for private investors, but the government must get involved. The government must get involved. Okay, so that's my second economic idea for Indonesia. Cater for old people. Think of the jobs. Wow. Think of the economy. Wow. So thanks for listening. I hope somebody's listening that might think, hey, yeah, let's go for this. The chances might be small, but it's always worth a try. Merdeka.